What is imagination? Is what I asked. And what I was shown was the Earth's crust at the core. When we crack into the Earth and out comes that lava, whatever it is that's coming out at the Earth's core, that is the same analogy that comes out of our brains during periods of imagination, free thinking, visualized thoughts within the mind space, psychological visions. We're just throwing out different words that connect the same dots. Stay with me here. So what I just got told in relation to imagination, it's memory. It's core memory. Imagination is core memory. Hear that loud and clear. Imagination is core memory. From the eco-philosophy in relation to self in the now moment, but all the other infinite selves across the universe. So those visions that you're getting in forms of imagination are the alternative realities that you're either living now or have been living. How on earth do shows like Rick and Morty get made that have inferences of really out there worldly stuff, but still have inferences today in relation to time and space? Yeah, who comes up with those crazy ideas? All the Simpson episodes that keep getting shown to us that have prophetic elements in it in regards to Ebola and COVID and Trump being president. I mean, where is that all coming from? That's a higher consciousness stream. That's a thread that creator is pulling on. Interesting that we are now the creator with threads above us. Do you receive that? Yeah? Because we always looked at the infinite as the creator, but now we're being given the power to be the creator through our imagination, because the imagination is the source to the absolute. From a top-down and bottom-up philosophy. Moreover, the ideology around the Earth's core and breaking through the Earth's core, especially in relation to the video I put out about macro, meso, and micro identities in relation to flat Earth versus round Earth, that's highly significant as well, because that's then screaming the concepts of imagination are past life. We're seeing past life during our imagination. We're seeing alternative realities and options and potential things that we can mattify. Never used that word before. Mattify. Turn that into matter. The imagination is there for us to turn it into matter if we choose to believe and pull on that thread. The infinite saying, we've got all these threads here and they all belong to you. We can show you any of them in any given moment based on your core perceptions at that time. You can follow the thread left, right and centre and go anywhere with it. If we're going to pull on that thread, make it nice and tight so it's a nice resounding sound that we could all receive and work off of, then what's coming through? And how do we turn that into something that's matter? That's what life is about, using the imagination to create matter. But once again, we've been taught that imagination is just in the mind, and the mind is not as powerful as all the other elements of self, like the physicality of things. The fact that you can cut us and we bleed seems to be so much more of a relevant area to investigate versus the mind and all of its marvel and its ability to show us image. We all see image in the mind. We all hear voice in the mind. But for some reason, that image isn't valid, we're told. And that voice, especially if you're talking to it in the wrong person, first, third, or otherwise, then it's incorrect. And actually, there's too many inferences for us to be able to perceive that correctly. But if we're looking at it once again from an eco-philosophy, I mean, it becomes pretty holistic and wholesome in regards to what we're finding. It's really easy to receive and perceive that narrative now. Because I've never actually taken a brain and looked at the whole frontal cortex and actually all the different elements within the brain and layered the brain over with an ecological mapping system. But I mean, let's play around. Let's take the solar system ideology and the astronomy and infrastructure of that mapping and where everything is located, and let's just situate that on the brain for a minute and see what ideologies we can pull from that. If we're going to pull on inferences and string here, what we got going on in these different areas where the synapses is firing. That synapses, string. More and more string everywhere now. Do you see what's going on here? And this is really interesting because the more that I've just allowed the Intergalactic Federation to just do their job and transmit, and for me to just maintain strength with that string, we're really transmitting now, we're off. And I mean, there's so much more that's going to come out in relation to the whole universe. Constructs for the whole universe now exist here in this now moment. This is going to be really highly significant over the next few months. What comes out, more and more findings. If you are engaging with the content at this time, welcome to a new world. This is large. This is large. And I'm just going to do what I've been, I want to say, ordained to do at this time. And I'm going to keep delivering. And we're going to keep connecting those dots, and we're going to get closer and closer to a solidified philosophy and theory on an ecological philosophy of how the universe works, universal law, really explained from a twice removed scenario, from a bottom-up philosophy instead of a top-down. But they totally infer. We can't even say that because it's a holistic ecological concept. But I always look at myself as a grounder. I'm on the ground. It's such an interesting concept. Everyone's going up out there to explore, and I've actually come here in this lifetime to go to the ground and receive the same concepts, but from a grounded perspective that we now flip upwards to shine light on the other. I'll be back soon with more.